Here's an update on the debugging and playtesting I've been doing with my current load order to see if I can at least isolate where this problem might be with pre-combined data or these particular crashes, which I think are related to pre-combined data. So just kind of a quick kind of a summary. You can see where playthrough started. That one was, again, moving the pylon. This one, here's a UI crash. This one I'm not sure about, but here let's start getting into these 20s because I believe these are related to previs and pre-combined data. So let me start taking a look at this particular buff out information, and let's see what we can find. See, we have an object cell. So here's an object cell, and let's see if there's anything. Let's see if it's coming from a particular mod. Okay, so PRP. All right, so I'm assuming that's a previs pre-combined issue. Now, why it would be with PRP? It could be something conflicting with PRP, something in PRP, which is the previs pre-combined repair pack. There could be an error in that. So we're just going to roll with that's associated with PRP. Let's go to the next one here. Okay, so let's bring out buff out info. Again, let's take a quick look here and see. Again, it's the object cell. Again, is popping up. We got the static collection. Let's see what the offending mod might be. So let's take a look here at this. All right, I see PRP in the mix. Complex sorter. It could be where it's. This could be where it actually retagged something. Not sure. I see PRP there and there, so it is there. Okay, so let's roll to the next one. All right, let's see. Let's roll down here. That's geometry. I'm pretty sure that one is previs. So let's take a look here. Yeah, see, we're back to object cell here. And then combine geometry. So if I go in and take a look at the object cell and geometry, which is here, it's this one here. So missing, conflicting. Okay, so that seems to be associated with previs. So we're good so far. And then we go down here. We got quite a few more. And then let's see. There's a loose file stream, but we'll get to that one. All right, so let's take a look at this. Let's see what pops up. There's the object cell. Okay, so that one came up again. All right, let's do this. Okay, I see PRP. Okay, so there's PRP again. All right, nothing particularly stands out as being like a ton of different things. Let's take a look at this one. All right, let's see. Okay, that's a loose file stream. Okay, so there's a loose file stream. And then you have the virtual machine. Now here I started getting more of these. So again, these are these O2Os. Let's take a look at this. Okay, there's a loose file stream, which I think those are. I'm pretty sure those might be associated with the previs pre-combine as well, but in a slightly different thing. I'll explain that in a minute. This one, I'm not really sure unless for some reason this was calling a combine, like the bash patch was combining things that were out of sequence, or I didn't regen the bash patch when I'm thinking when I added or removed a mod. So that I'm not sure about. Behavior graph, I believe that's where it was trying to figure out what the AI was or patch into the AI system. All right, so up here you can see I had the 20s, and I'll show you where I'm at so far. So I actually installed the official patch, the new one that was released, and I installed the Tales from the Commonwealth. Now I don't think I've actually been to any of these locations yet, except maybe Wallace's Bar. So I haven't really checked to see if this is going to conflict, because this is for the PRP 69X version, but I actually have 65 installed, and I'll show you that in just a second. So here's where I installed the 69 version 69. But here, this one had some. I was getting some really weird previs pop in and outs. Where you literally can see through objects. So I reinstalled the new 65.5, and I think I had 65.4 installed previously. And this did fix some issues. There were some areas where the previs pre-combined either wasn't ginned or wasn't correct, and it definitely had invisible objects popping in and out. And I think it was right before the Gunner Plaza. There's like I'm thinking like a Red Rocket or a little, I want to say a little eatery, a pub or something there. Not a Red Rocket, but like one of those little pubs. I forget what they're called. And it had some problems, but it's gone. I actually went back to that area, and it's gone now that I installed the 0.5 version. So I did install a couple more mods to see if these work. Just on a side note, Gorski's debacle. I had to advance the quest because I'm assuming it was looking for his assistant. It got stuck on the investigate the bunker. I ran all through the bunker. Um, I know there was no assistant in there because I'd been there recently and cleared it out. So I don't know. He didn't spawn an assistant for some reason. Everything else was there. The mole rat that he was eating, but I didn't see the assistant. So that one didn't advance. So I had to actually just kind of set stage on it. No big deal. There is I installed the unofficial patch for Tales of the Commonwealth. And again, Adam Storm had some updates. I put a drone in there. It's kind of interesting. It doesn't fire out of the 4 guns. It fires out of the center like an iBot, even though I think it's a Mr. Handy race. This gave him some extra abilities. I added the universal disassemble. Just check it out. Extra icons and some plantable crops, which I haven't. That is not in the load order yet, which is actually. Let me see here. Let's see. I don't have it there. Might be able to do it like this. Hang on a second. Let's do this, and then let's do here. Yeah. So it's not activated yet. You can see it over here. So I don't have so far. I've been in Sanctuary. I haven't had any more of these particular crashes. I've been in other locations. I've put the repair bot, tidy bot, and the salvage bot in at least 6 settlements now. I haven't had any crashes in those settlements. And what I think was happening when it crashed in Sanctuary before, because you can see where I actually installed it, like way up here. It's it's up here, right? So it was installed further up here. What I think happened was I had set it to scan outside of the area. So I do think that particular crash is related to pre-vis, but I think it has to do with scanning. I think it has to do with, like I say, salvaging something or scanning or checking an object reference that is through F4SC. Somehow there's a function or something in there, or even a native call where you can scrap an object if you have the object's reference, and even the fact scanning it, so you're trying to scan an area for objects that you can load into a list, like an array list that you could then access later to find out what you can remove. And it would make sense because reading the mod author's page on, let's say, TidyBot, it works whether you're inside or outside of a settlement. So he recommended you stay in a settlement when the bots are actually scanning the area, which would make sense because if the cell gets unloaded, the objects are going to get unloaded and the list is either going to be incomplete or corrupt, and I'm assuming incomplete. Therefore, he's not going to be able to scrap anything or repair anything. But if you are not in the settlement and it already has the object it needs to repair, it already has the reference it needs, so then it just needs to repair it or scrap it. It doesn't crash away from settlements. So it crashed when I was at the settlement and he was in active scan mode. So, and this is when I had him scanning outside of the settlement bounds, and this is in Sanctuary. So, I seen somebody else mention that he believed the crashes were when enemies spawn or about ready to spawn and attack, spawn outside of his settlement and attack NPCs like settlers inside a settlement. I didn't have any spawning outside the settlement. This was just the TidyBot scanning, but he was set to scan outside. And this is in Sanctuary, outside of the Sanctuary settlement. I changed that so that he only scans for objects to scrap inside the settlement, and I have not had that particular crash since. So that was kind of done up in here. So somewhere up through here, although I don't have it, there's no log in here that, or no note that would say this is where I changed it. But it was either done in this, from this point forward or from this point forward. So I haven't had any more of these O2Os. So hopefully, if no more of those crop up in areas that I had those errors, it was either scanning for objects that are associated with a potential pre-combine, or the system has to generate LOD or something like that in some fashion for it, and that's for some reason causing the issue, or it was just bad pre-combined data, corrupted pre-combined data, or pre-combined data that somehow got there was a conflict somewhere along the lines, and that particular cell's pre-combined data was incomplete. So those are the only changes I made. I updated the pre-combines, changed the TidyBot to keep in, or changed the, I think it was salvage bot to only salvage things that are inside the settlement. And hopefully so far we're going to be clean from this point forward, at least until I come across another area where the pre-combines are damaged. So yeah, that's where I'm at so far, and I'm going to keep hammering at this and just kind of see what I can come up with. So I hope that helps or gives someone an idea. Oh, and that may explain why I was getting those particular crashes, like I say, when using sim settlements in Concord, because there's some kind of scanning going on for something while things are being built. So if you have something that's multi-threaded, or if you've got scripts outside of SS2 that are trying to scan Concord, or like I say, wherever you're at, looking for things to add or remove, or even tag NPCs, and for some reason if it comes across an object and it tries to reference that object and that object is in use, maybe it doesn't mitigate it. Maybe it returns like a null reference or some kind of weird thing. So it might be in the process of scanning it, or like I say, it's a pre-combined pre-vis kind of a thing. So anyways, that's where I'm at so far. So I've got some coding to do and some more testing, and I'll post back later.